Hello, this is Gloria, and I'm Rebecca, and we are with Inland Empire Couples Counseling. We are couples therapists, and we're giving tips on how to manage some common problems that couples face around the holidays. This video is number 6 in our series, and today we are talking about when your partner and your family don't get along. And I will tell you, even just like reading that out loud fills me with some little pings of stress and anxiety, imagining how hard this situation could be.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, during the holidays, we just all want to get along and we kind of go in with the hope like, okay, it's the holiday, like everyone's going to put this down. Fingers crossed, and sometimes it doesn't always work out that way. So, what we want to give you is kind of like the backup stuff to like help you go into this and what to do if during there's like some stuff that's going on too. So, one of the first things is if it's happened in the past or if you're having anxiety about it, be open about that with your partner. And very similar, like we've been saying before, which is coming from like an open understanding place too, and not attacking or saying like a lot of yous, or even if it's like vice versa, like we're trying to talk about like our partner's family because there's like turmoil between us and them. It's making sure we still understand like that's their family whom they love and care about, and so we got to still have that respect towards how we talk towards our partner and how we talk about this issue. It can be very easy to kind of get caught up into our emotions and get heated. And I would say if you're at that level, then that's probably not the most productive time to make this like an actual good conversation. So we want to step back, take a little time for ourselves, take care of ourselves when we're not elevated anymore from 100 to like 0 now, or at least a 5. Like if you get to a 5, cool. Where you can actually talk about this stuff in a better way because both of you want the same thing. You both want to have a great holiday. You both want to spend time with each other's family to an extent. But you both ultimately want to have a good time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and we're thinking, this is your family and your partner who are probably the most important people to you in the world, and you want to be able to spend time, fun time together with all of them, and that just, is why it's so important, I think. And I would add, it didn't really occur to me until you were talking that sometimes this can happen on both sides. Maybe I have conflict with my partner's family, and my partner also has conflict with my family. And if you're doing this communication thing, I would recommend that you stick to one topic at a time because it will just make things a lot more complicated. If you're trying to talk to your partner about the conflict or the way that they kind of stir things up with your family, and they're trying to talk to you about how you do things with their family as well, and then you'll end up really not making progress on either issue. And both things are important, but you can use some good communication skills and have some good boundaries for yourselves there, in that like this is the issue that we're addressing right now, and at a different time in another conversation we're going to address the other side of it.
I think that's a great thing that you said that because it can very easily turn into like the tit for tat. And then
Mm-hmm.
instead of coming in with more of like the sensible brain, like, okay, we're seeking a resolution. Instead, now it's emotional. And now we're
Right.
more going in it to win it. And at the end of the
Right.
day, it's nothing to win because you're both
Mm-hmm.
are right. Like
Mm-hmm.
you both
Mm-hmm.
want the same thing. It's just, we need to talk about it different now.
Right. So, what did you want to say about using or implementing good boundaries in these situations?
Yeah, so within that productive conversation that everyone's going to have, what can be really helpful is just talking about what are the parameters when it comes to family time. So, regardless of the situation, talking about this before the holiday, the best that you can is going to be so helpful and will be anxiety reducing. So, you guys go in with a game plan. So, if it has been historically uncomfortable, if we've had really not so good conversations with family in the past or what have you, then maybe we can agree to set like a time limit or what have you, where, okay, we're only going to spend this much time here. And we both mutually agree that this is going to preserve our sanity, our peace, and that we don't end up in an argument at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
There's different boundaries too that you guys can come up with as well, which is okay, we're going to spend the entire day there for the holiday, but we are going to have other parameters around this. So if we see like people are in a heated argument or what have you, then we're going to have a game plan as to how to diffuse that. So maybe we want to, I don't know, some people can come up with like a code word like, hey, like banana, like, are you, and it's going to mean like, are you cool? Like, should we step out? And defining that before this all happens too. Um, Other things too, like asking your partner, what would you want me to do? Like if there is a hard conversation going on and I can see like maybe from across the room or I'm near it or I'm a part of it, what would you want me to do? Like how would you want me to intervene? Do you want me to intervene at all? And also I would suggest too, like having a decompression like session if a big conversation like that happened. Like check in with each other after, like, hey, I don't know what happened there, or I'm on your side. I'm on your side. I just want to
Yeah.
support you.
Yeah. And I'm thinking about some of the other videos that we've done in the series. You may be having boundary conversations around alcohol or around gift giving or around, some of the other things that could help reduce that conflict when your partner and your family don't get along. And another decompression thing that might be useful is if you pre-plan that we're going to visit and it's an overnight visit, but maybe we need to stay in a different place. So maybe for
Mm-hmm.
this trip we get a hotel room, or we're going to stay with my, sibling instead of with my parents, just because we need a little, my partner maybe needs a little bit of space to have some decompression so that it doesn't become explosive. Like those are things that could be in the realm of boundaries as well. So I know you had some ideas about how to implement some of these things when things really get heated.
Yeah, actually, too, like I just love what you said too, which is like going on with the decompression time, which is even before, like it is so important to check in even before, even before like
Yeah.
going into it. And I would even suggest like if you have to drive straight through somewhere and you eventually will get there, so you have to travel like some ways or what have you, I would say even like have some cushion, some time to like decompress there before you actually get there, because it can be real anxiety provoking, like the ride there, like oh my gosh, what's going to happen, and all these other things that can happen.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
um, and going into this example is when things do get heated, kind of going back a little bit, which is making sure that we know what to do or what our partner wants us to do if we see like an active conversation happening, like between our partner or even us, like between us and a family member, or our partner and their family member, or whatever the situation is. How do you want me to intervene, if you want me to intervene at all? And making sure too is that everybody is okay. Sometimes things are said and we can't take it back, but what we can do is we can repair, or at least attempt to repair. So if things were said and we're still at the holiday get together, what have you, I think it would be a really good idea to just make sure our partner knows like we're on each other's side. And if we want to resolve, which I'm urging people to try to like make it the best that they can, is being in it together and coming up with like how do we salvage what just happened right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't guarantee that the family member or whomever received that message is going to be 100% like, okay, let's put it down. But what that can do is, even if you're met with that pushback or that they're not ready to like hear an apology, that at least you and your partner are on the same page, where you both recognize you're trying to make the best out of it, that you both are putting an equal effort to try to salvage that relationship.
Right. And sometimes that might be all that's really needed to help you and your partner feel together on it. Yeah, there's
Mm-hmm.
this conflict. We don't have full control over what happens in the conflict because we only can control ourselves and not how other people react. And at the end of the day, it feels better to know that you're with me on this, that you understand, that you're trying, that you have some compassion for how hard the situation is. Sometimes that's the best that we can do. And when
Mm-hmm.
you walk away from it still feeling like you and your partner are connected together on a team, then you haven't lost. And is that what you were intending with checking in with each other?
Um, the next point too with check-ins is like throughout, it doesn't have to always be heated. Sometimes it's just tension like in the room because of past what have yous. So when we do check in, or actually when we're setting the boundaries and having that wonderful conversation, I would also chime in with set some pre-established check-in times. So we can ask our partner like, hey, I see that last time was really uncomfortable for me or you or what have you. So let's try to make sure that we're all on the same page and I support you, or vice versa. So let's check in via text message or send heart emojis or whatever that we can to show our partner like, hey, I'm still here. Like maybe I'm in a different room talking to a family member, but I still want to check in with you. If
Mm-hmm.
that's one way. But another way can also be like, okay, well, if I see you sitting by yourself and you look a little down or what have you, I want to check in with you, and we're going to check in just with each other, away from like the party stuff or holiday stuff too. Just so we can get that time to, if needed, to decompress a little bit, let a little bit of the steam out, because sometimes tensions can rise and nothing may have actually happened during the time, but maybe we had thoughts, or maybe some snippy comments were made or something. So those would be the times that if we have multiple check-ins throughout the day, that can help diffuse or release a little bit of the steam that's kind of like building, 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 so we don't turn into the pressure cooker, or so our partner doesn't turn into the pressure cooker that nobody wants, where it just comes out all at one time.
Right, right. And, we're talking about this all in the context of there being conflict, right? Family members and the partner don't get along. And yet, this check in tip can be useful when it's not extremely tense, when maybe the one person just tends to feel kind of left out. Like, we're there with your family, and I feel like I get forgotten. And so, just that you remembered me and came over to say, hey, are you okay? Just wanted to check in with you. Just wanted to see how you're doing. Do you need anything? Do you want me to get you a snack? Whatever, that little bit that lets you know that we're still connected. We still care. It still matters to me if you're having a good time or not. The check-in tip can also be really useful if someone's dealing with grief. Um, that grief can be really hard around the holidays. And so if we're there with your family having this great time and I'm feeling sad because I can't be with my family, or maybe my family lost someone this year, this is our first holiday without them, just that little remembering the thoughtfulness to say, hey, how are you doing? Are you okay? Can go a really long way. Any final thoughts on this one, Gloria?
No.
Good,
Not for now.
great. We know these situations are super complicated and often contain lots of layers and lots of personalities and lots of history. And we're trying to give general tips here to help in general situations. And if you find that your situation needs something a little more specific, if you want the eyes and expertise of a professional person to help you figure out the unique aspects of your situation and to get some real personalized advice and suggestions to help you and your partner when you're struggling with these extended family issues, or figuring out how you can put the historical stuff aside so that you can really enjoy your holiday time together, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. We do counseling sessions in Riverside, California, and do online couples counseling throughout California. You can find out more about us at iecouplescounseling.com.